Hi everybody, and welcome back to the farm here. Well, it's August 10th, and now's the time, for us anyway, to do some fall planting. A lot of people, once they harvest things in the summer, they say, okay, that's it. Well, we've always planted yet again in August for a fall harvest. And I've got to tell you, growing stuff through the fall is, to me, so much better than summer planting, because you have a lot less bugs, you have less weeds. It's not cooler today, believe me, but it gets a lot cooler, and the plants, these plants that we're going to plant, do so much better in the cooler weather. So what are we going to do here? Well, of course, you know, this is our first year with these raised beds, and we've already harvested our zucchini and lettuce out of here, and our beets and our potatoes. So now we're going to re-enrich the soil, I guess we'll say. So first thing we're going to do is, I like to use this Plantone from Expoma, and we've used this for years, and it just sort of rejuvenates some of the ingredients that the soil has lost, because whatever we plant in here have eaten them up into the plant. So we're going to rejuvenate the soil first with our fertilizer. We'll spread it in, and then we'll go to the next step. So we'll just finish raking this in a little bit. As you can see, you know, pretty much everything that was in here, you know, when you pull out your plants, when they're done, you want to clean things up a bit so you don't have a lot of crap still in your bed. So, all right, so we've got our Plantone in, which is a nice fertilizer. And now we're going to add the Coast of Maine. So this is, I have not used this before, but it looked really good to use. As I said, you know, when you're pulling out potatoes and stuff, a lot of dirt comes out, so your level goes down. So we're going to build it back up a little bit. This is an organic blend of all sorts of stuff: compost, lobster and crab shell meal, kelp meal, worm casings, you know, just a lot of good stuff for your soil. So we're going to put one bag in each bed, and let's get to it. And as always, you're going to forget to bring out something you need. My trusty hoe. All right, so we got all our amendments in and spread. Just so you know, with the Plantone, the fertilizer, I put about 2 of these cups in each square here. Each of these squares is 4 by 4. These beds are 4 by 12. So I put two of these in each one of these squares and spread it out. It's not like we're starting from scratch here, so you don't have to put a lot of stuff in. And then I put on the from Maine, Coast of Maine planting mix, and spread that out. It's probably a good idea if you're doing beds that after you harvest each time, you put another bag in, just to keep the soil level up and keep your amendments nice and strong. So now we've got to decide where we're going to plant. Now it's time to plant. So what are we putting in for our fall garden? We are putting in lettuce. We are putting in cole crops, which include cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower. I'm planting another small row of beets. We're putting in some more potatoes and a lot of carrots. We go through a lot of carrots. So let's get to it. I got some transplants here, and if you haven't used or planted any transplants before, some of you have, some of you haven't, they usually come in a 6-pack like this. And don't worry, it's not a big struggle to get these out of here. I usually just kind of squeeze this a little bit, and that loosens it up a little bit, and voila, there it is. So the way we're measuring this out for the beds is all these cole crops need about 2 feet spacing. As usual, I'm going to cheat slightly in the bed just to see if I can get an extra one in there. These beds are 12 by 4. So each one of these quadrants is 4 by 4. So we're going to plant these plants about where I've got them. That should be enough space. But always keep in mind, these plants get big. You know, a broccoli and a cauliflower plant, they'll have leaves like this. So these will be filled right up by the time they mature. So that's where those are going to go. And should I show you the difficulty in planting? Sure. It's really quite difficult. You're going to dig a little hole. You can use a little shovel if you want to. Get it down in there and just secure it in there. You don't want any air around it because the roots don't like that. Good to go. And once I get everything planted, then we'll come back and we'll water everything to really set it in there. So it won't take too long to put all those in, and we'll do that in a little bit. You don't need to watch 30 plants going in. And now for the seeds, all of these seeds, the lettuce and carrot and beets. Beets are a little bit bigger. You can really take one at a time and put them in, but they don't have to be very deep at all. The lettuce and the carrots are just like microscopic seeds. So I won't even use my hoe. What I'll do is I'll just make a little furrow like this, because you just want to cover them up with a 1/4 inch, if that, with dirt. And how we'll handle these seeds, this is lettuce. I usually just put a little bit in there. It gets a little rough when you're sweaty. And then I just kind of do one of these moves like that. And obviously cover them up, but don't cover them up by much, because they don't need to be covered up by too much dirt. Just something like that. I'll make a mark there so I don't plant again. So lettuce, and I'm going to put my row of beets here. We're going to fill this area all up with carrots as we are over there. And that'll be our fall garden, and our potatoes will go in here. So that's it. Make sure they're watered. Looks like we're going to get a little rain right now, so it might be a perfect afternoon, even with this heat, to put this stuff in, then get a little rain. Rain's way better than just watering with your hose or your bucket or whatever. So there you go, that's the fall garden. Any questions, let me know, and we'll talk to you soon.